I linked up James Kimani to Ruth Mwanzia, the founder of Cooler Waters. Cooler Waters Company specializes in the manufacturing, distribution, packaging, and treatment of pure drinking water and manufactures up to 3,500 cartons per month. Ruth Mwanzia is also the founder of AfriBiz Academy, a platform where she offers mentorship, business coaching, and consulting for entrepreneurs, as well as motivational speaking.
Hi, my name is James from Splash Waters, and I'm here to learn from you. So let me start by asking, how did you start the business?
Okay, thank you so much. So I started my business back in 2014, and the reason why I started my business is that I come from Kitui. I grew up in Kitui. So if you know the eastern region of Kenya, we experience semi-arid type of climate. So that means we rarely experience rainfall, so we only have like 2 rain seasons, and sometimes rain is not promised. So growing up from such a region, I experienced things to do with water scarcity, water shortages, and drought. So back in my mind, I kept on asking myself, what can I do to give back to the community and all that? Then another thing that also inspired me to actually start this. So during my first year, I did my first year at Africa Nazarene. So Africa Nazarene, they're very strict. Before you graduate, you have to have gotten an internship. So I actually did journalism and majored in electronic media for my first degree. But then I applied for internship at various media firms. It wasn't forthcoming. So just as my last resort, because I thought, will I graduate or will I get an internship? So as I was about to give up, finally I got a position at a water farm. That time it was called Water Resources Management Authority, but after gazettement now it's Water Resources Authority. So I got an internship there. I stayed there for around 1 year, and it was just voluntary internship. I wasn't getting paid, but I really wanted the knowledge. So after getting the internship at the water farm and also getting a lot of knowledge from the water engineers, and also with my background with coming from Kitui, like, I feel this is my divine calling. So now I started getting a lot of interest on water, and also I discussed with one of my best friends, and I also came and talked to my parents about the ideas I was thinking, and then they encouraged me, why don't you start with initially I wanted to just purchase like a water boozer. I supply people, with the water. When they encourage me, why don't you start with packaging? Then once your business grows and expands, then you can invest in boozers and all that. So that's what really influenced me, and also getting a lot of support from friends and my family. I thought, this is the right path that I'm taking. So those 2 major events in my life are what influenced me to start this business. Yes.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced when you were starting?
Okay, so I would say at the very beginning, as any other business, we all face challenges. So some of my challenges were to do with market penetration. So when you go to the market, people ask you, is your product genuine? Are you a counterfeit product? And all that, because in the market you realize, like right now in Kenya, there are around, like, let's say around 300 brands that are registered, and out of those 300, there are like maybe 100 of them that are counterfeits. So people ask you, so are you manufacturing your water at River Road, or where is your plant? Can I visit your plant? So before you get the customer trust, sometimes it's very frustrating when you get your product the market and people are like, no, I can't buy your brand because it's not in the supermarket. I've not heard of it before. So that was one of my first challenges. Then the other challenge I had was to do with competition, because in this business, there are very many multinational firms and firms that have been in business for over 20 years. So you're a startup, you've only been in existence for, let's say, like 2 years, and you don't have all these resources to really advertise, maybe to put up billboards and to make people really know your product. So when you take it out there and your competitor product is out there, people tend to buy your competitor products because they've really managed to really advertise themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say I'm beginning in the business. This is my second year, and I'm still working on the certifications and the licenses that are required. Now, the next question that I would like to know and kind of troubles my mind is, which market should I target as a beginner? How should I start with the market and everything?
Oh, okay. What I would tell you is that before you introduce your product to the market, you should know your customer and know your market before you do everything. So what I would encourage is first do your market research. That is very, very important. You don't want to introduce a very nice product and then you don't get anyone to buy it, or you introduce a product and people are not very interested in it. So before you introduce the product, do a lot of market testing, and you can do this also through social media marketing, so that will save you a lot of cost. Start like create like a Facebook profile page for your product. Invite your friends to actually like the page. Ask them for feedback, and also if you've packed a few like samples and all that, also give out a lot of free samples at the very beginning. Then also like really learn from your customer what they really want. Like always ask for feedback, and of course people will tell you, oh, this is if you can do the packaging like this and this. So first of all is study the market before you introduce the product, and do a lot of market testing and all. And then you see, like for water, you either do you want to do the mass market, or you target everyone, or do you want to do like a niche market?
So what about how do you go about the pricing? Because I realize you've mentioned about I need to understand my customers, their income.
Yes.
So I believe there could be different prices, different regions.
Yes, that happens, but it also depends on the marketing strategy that you use. Is that so for us, Kiambu is our biggest market, and therefore we're able to price fairly. But my other second biggest market is in Kitui. I come from Kitui, and there, I come from a village. It's called Chondoni village. There you can't price this the same way you price your water in Kiambu or in Nairobi. So what we do is that we also factor in the cost of production. So what we take to Kitui, yes, it's the same cooler waters, but then we check where can we get like maybe cheaper bottles, or how can we reduce the production cost, so at the end of the day the customer is not affected and the quality is not really affected. So in Kitui we package the water differently, because in Nairobi we sell our water between 300 shillings all the way to 340 Kenya shillings, but in Kitui you have to start from 270 shillings, because you have to also check the income levels and all for the people there. So what we did is that we had to reduce a bit of our production cost so that we can get there. And also the other thing that we do is that in Kitui we push volumes, so the more we package, the more we tell them we can deliver like less than 100.
That is awesome.
Yes,
awesome.
thank you.
Really keep that in mind.
Thank you very much. You're also doing a good job at Splash, and I also look forward to visiting your plant.
You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Yes.
I've learned a lot.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
so
you.
great to be here.
Thank you so much for having watched this show. Hope you've learned a thing or two from the conversation between James and Ruth about the water business. But before we get to wind up the show, I'd like just to be the mouthpiece for SMEs, to the government, and to any person involved in policy making and regulation. The amount of taxes and levies being charged to persons in the water business is quite expensive, making it hard for any person to thrive. There are levies, there's the county fees, there's the VAT, there's the excess duty. So by the time you're setting up this business, it sets you back 200,000. How many SMEs or entrepreneurs can afford that to actually just set up a business? Please look into this, rationalizing fees and levies for entrepreneurs in this particular business. Anyway, remember each and every Wednesday to grab a copy of The Standard, to read the Hustle magazine, where I usually write about the Business Coach column. And also to learn more about business and entrepreneurship, check out the Business Coach website. That's businesscoach.co.ke. My name is Ian Dennis, and this has been the Business Coach, where I help entrepreneurs better their businesses. Here are events to look out for in 2020. On January 25th, there's a Centonomy Open Day at the All Saints Cathedral from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. On February 27th, there's a Founders Entrepreneurship Forum happening at the Nairobi Cinema from 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. On March 6th, there's a Women in Leadership Awards happening at the Intercontinental Hotel from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you like your event mentioned or the Business Coach to be a part of the event, feel free to reach us on our social media handles.